Okay, welcome everybody to the Canada Tug. We are featuring the Iron Viz submissions in Canada, or most of them, a few of them. So we're just here. We are here today to showcase the Canadian Iron Viz participants from last year to celebrate the Iron Viz this year. Okay, so I'm just going to say a few things and then I'll briefly go through the criteria, although Fraser did it really well last year. So, and I'm going to skim over it. And then we have 4 people who are going to present their submission last year and kind of go through their process and what inspired them and whatever they would like to talk to about and showcase their visualization. And hopefully you all get some inspiration from it and we all kind of get inspired and take that back to our own visits. Okay, this is me, but that's not that important. So these are the 4 these are the 4 visualizations we'll see tonight. And then that's the title of their visualizations. And you're going to see much more about those later. And before we start, though, I'm going to say the criteria. So the criteria is there's 4 categories. There's design, analytics, and storytelling. And then each category is sort of broken down into a number of different sort of sub aspects. And then, so Fraser Gallup and I, who is on the phone, but and I have been judges in the previous years, and we sort of get a criteria sheet, and we go through each category, and the judging criteria sort of asks us questions like, did they, is the data set clean? Did they tell a story that flowed through the viz? Was there a good analysis to it? Did they show, so various parts of the 3 criteria. And then we rate them on sort of a 1 to 5 scale, and then come up with an overall score. And if it's tied, I believe analysis is the tiebreaker. Yes. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it to David, who's going to be who has volunteered to go first, and let you guys take it away.
Thank you so much, Candy. So, hey all, my name's David Isaacson. I have worked for my current company actually for 17 years. Many people know them as Rogers Communications. I'm going to apologize in the background. You might hear my daughter. She's not happy to be going to bed at the moment. No, my presentation, I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen here, was all about The Simpsons. And for those that know me, especially at work, my current avatar is actually an AI generated, you can see it there in this is a different version, but an AI generated version of me as a Simpsons character. A couple interesting facts about me. I am actually legally blind, low vision. I am working on, though, being able to get my driver's license through a neat new technology called bioptic telescopes. As I said, I've worked for Rogers for 17 years. I've had family work for the company, though, and I think we're exceeding 30 years combined now, continuous. So that's, currently about 3 of us working for the company. We peaked at 4. So bit of a family tradition there, which is, a bit of a point of pride for me. I've been working with Tableau, I think about 3 or 4 years. I just recently got desktop certified, and I use it regularly in my role. So it's a key part of my role in our care operations reporting team. So just to sort of kick it off with the report here, one of the key things I did. So as I said, I love The Simpsons, but as any fan has probably noticed, it's kind of gone downhill, or felt like it at least, from a fan perspective since season 10. I think everybody kind of unanimously-ish agrees that the Armin Tanzarian, literally jumped the shark at that point. For those that don't know what I'm referring to, that is when they decided that Seymour Skinner, the principal of the school, was actually not Seymour Skinner. He was Armin Tanzarian, and there was a real Seymour Skinner. It was a terrible story plot, and it honestly dragged the show down terribly. So what I've done here is a lot of the key things is I use the IMDb data set that was provided for last year with the movies and entertainment sort of topic. We have features like we can actually click the logo here, and it will take us to the IMDb page, which is awesome. I have the best episode here. So I have, looking at it and looking at the data, our top episode. The image has decided to no longer load. I just checked it earlier, so I think this is broken over time. But this was Homer's Enemy, which, if anybody remembers the episode where Frank Grimes, gets very mad at Homer because Homer is terrible at his job, as Homer is, and somehow still ends up with everything in his favor. Meanwhile, Frank has had a bit of a harder life. That's where that ended up being actually the best rated episode. And we also have underneath here, we have the seasons on the average rating. So I looked at what percent of the episodes were rated 7 or higher, and then the average rating. So we have here, we can see the ones that are in orange were 100%. So a lot of seasons in the early years. And then sure enough, season 10, boom, right down. And those number of episodes fell pretty heavily, the percentage. We also have just the average rating. You can see a dip. So I've written a bit of a piece here about it, just discussing my thoughts, and similar to what I've talked to you today about, and how personally in life, I find you can quote almost any situation has a quotable moment from The Simpsons. And, whether it be at work, personal, anything, I have fairly seldom not been able to quote The Simpsons to make a joke. And I tried to keep this whole presentation light and humorous to match that Simpsons style. So as you can see, when I did talk about the best of the episode, I did put the best episode ever. And I did the I caramba here for when looking at the actual data. Some cool things I want to kind of call out here. First off, all the colors are actually matched to the proper Simpsons colors, including this orange is Bart's shirt. This blue is Bart's pants. This is the official Simpsons yellow. The blue here is the Simpsons sky. So really staying true and theming around my source material was really key to me. Another neat feature I have here is, of course, if you hover, again, some of these images have broken over time with this data set, but you can see how it's supposed to work. There we go. And you can see it would actually show you what the best episode from that season was. So it's top rated one. And if we click on the season, underneath here, we can actually look at it episode by episode and see how that season did. So you can see this one was pretty good. Meanwhile, if we go over here, very hilly valley. So it was really cool that way. A lot of neat little pieces this way. There's a lot I would do in the future different. I think I could have told the story a little tighter on this one. But at the end of the day, I'm glad I took that opportunity to take a chance on it, tell that story I wanted to tell, talk about something that was close and passionate to me, and the fact of, The Simpsons, it's such a, I think they're coming up on a crazy number of episode. I've forgotten how high they are now. I think they're coming up on like season 36 or 37 or something like that, which is just astonishing. I think the only other franchise I know that's got longevity like that's Doctor Who, and it had a hiatus. No, it was really great to be able to talk about that and have that deviation from my day and actually work on that. The other neat trick I want to kind of call out here is the drop shadow I did. I actually worked really hard to figure out that one. And the silly thing is, it's literally just a copy of the text sitting behind it. Sometimes that's what I love about Tableau. Sometimes the best fix is sometimes the silliest, where it just works. Apparently the Leafs game's got an update. Sorry about that. Let me fix that there. The other thing I do love, and I use this one a lot in work, is the piece here where you click and then it shows the zone visibility. I use that constantly in work. It's a very simple utilization here, but I can say in my day-to-day, that is a killer feature, and I love it to bits. So I think being able to utilize pieces like that, and I know that compared to some of the other Iron Vizes you're going to see, I'm sure this one's a little more on the basic side, but I can say I really did love working on the source material and getting to express myself that way. I definitely want to put more out. I've been needing to work on that, but I think especially with the topic this year, I believe it is food and drink, if memory serves. It's a really great topic for the year. So I hope people really get to enjoy that and take full advantage of it. And I will pass it back to you, Candy, unless anybody has any questions.
Awesome, David. Like very cool inspiration. Like the all the different colors from The Simpsons, and the font too is the
Simpsons. Yeah, it's the same font. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
Very, yeah,
And how
nice.
often do
And
you get to use so close to Comic Sans? And actually be okay
yeah,
with it.
exactly, exactly. I know you'd never get to use that. And did you learn, like, how many things did you learn that you took like into your day-to-day life?
I think it was a lot more of stuff I do in my day to day life I brought into this for me personally. That
Yeah.
drop shadow technique did remind me though that sometimes the best fixes though are the ones where it's like that shouldn't work, but okay, it does.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
fact that it's literally just the same text yellow and a yellow layer and a black layer just slightly offset from each other worked really well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's cool. Like yeah, I was thinking like, boy, I don't think I would have thought of that. Like, so that would have
I I
taken,
I wish
some
there was an official
using
drop
for sure.
shadow. That would be a cool
Yeah, that
official
would be
feature,
cool.
but
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, if there was like a font that did it or a special font or something. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, because it is useful. It does add that level of separation, and
Yeah.
especially in modern interfaces. Like if I think of, I'm on a Mac, as people could probably tell. I look at things like liquid glass and that kind of thing. Where it's now we really with design are seeing people focus on layering, and I feel like those kind of elements are really
Ah,
powerful.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I think like really the Iron Viz like really like lets your creativity run wild, right? Like you're not fenced in by a bunch of requirements in your day-to-day life. So it's good to kind of spread your wings a little bit and just kind
Yep.
of, yeah,
it,
nice.
it's
Yeah.
also nice to do that one output because signing, I'm sure a lot of people in the audience can understand is many of the reports we build on a day-to-day basis are these very static report or sorry, not static reports, sorry. They're very like they have to be able to keep refreshing and keep working and keep chugging through the day and provide that information so you can't take that snapshot in time like you can with something for Iron Viz and really explain it well, which is great, and it gives you that
Yeah.
little bit more than you would necessarily have.
Yeah. Awesome. A great job. I love the colors and the brightness and it's awesome.
Yep, no, it was nice to move away from blacks and grays, which are Katie, you've seen some of my other reports. There's a lot of blacks and grays and reds, and
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
I got to
corporate
use other
colors,
colors,
right? You
which was
gotta
great.
Yeah, you got to stick
Exactly.
kinda to the you
Exactly. And
kinda
I'm
have to
sure
stick
many
to
people have
the
experienced that, the corporate colors, and there's nothing wrong with corporate colors. They can make a report look awesome, but it's nice to get to experiment and play with the rest of the rainbow a bit.
Yes, absolutely. And, lots of, viz and tool tips and stuff too, like that
Yep.
that's cool, like, to, like,
Always
kinda
love that
call out
feature.
different aspects of it. Yeah, yeah.
Always love the Viz and Tooltips feature. I think that's one of the real powerful features. That and but zone visibility, you can get a lot done.
Oh, yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah. Zone visibility is a really useful feature too, yeah, for sure. Awesome. Great job, David. Thanks for presenting.
No worries. Thanks for having me on.
And without further ado, then I think we'll pass it over to Chioma. I think we was willing to go second.
Yeah.
So welcome. And so like just please introduce yourself quickly. And then so I don't have to flip back to my slides. And then let's launch into your visualization and start to showcase your work to everybody, your great work.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Choma. I'm currently a data scientist, founder of an automation platform, and I recently work in ML research. So this dashboard is horror themed, and I am a movie lover. That's why it wasn't hard to participate last year. I'm not a food lover, so it's quite hard this year. This dashboard was created during the Halloween period. I actually spent most of my Halloween creating this dashboard. So yeah, um, it's titled The Dark Art of Horror, and it has 2 pages with the nav bar up here, and you could go to the second page. Yeah, and it has the scorecard or like intro cards right here with the number of horror movies or TV shows we are reviewing, and the count of directors, which is a great start for this page one. Here, these are just drops of blood, but they're actually not data points, but they are linked to the airy drops here, which is an actual scatter plot. And this one right here is just showing us like the average number of votes per movie for each director. And I included the number of movies each director has worked on versus the average rating. So the next one was the sentiment analysis charts, and there's a breakdown in the next page. And then we have a word cloud here. Apparently, for horror movies, it's a little bit confusing because when a movie is said to be intense, gruesome, atmospheric, confusing, haunting, it's actually a good thing as opposed to how it will be for any other genre of movie. Right here, we have the rise of horror movie, and we see 2020 as the apex of horror movies, and we have down to 2024 and 2026, like the movies that they already announced will be coming out. 2020 was a horror movie itself, and yeah, directors decided to leverage that to create more horror movies. Here we have clusters. I use the cluster feature on Tableau, yeah, to just create these clusters. Yeah, true. This right here, most of the work was done in Python, like on a Python notebook. I work on sentiment analysis a lot, so I had to like extract the words and yeah, just create a plot. So like I said, negative means good for horror movies. Positive, it's quite confusing. It could mean the movie was good or it wasn't scary. Neutral, yeah. Then we have the durations of horror movies, and we see 90 here. I feel like this is very intentional from the directors and screenwriters and everything, because 90 minutes, beyond 90 minutes, will take your attention. That's why I have a lot of numbers, a lot of movies between the 80s and thereabout. And then for the page 2, this is just the focus on the top 5 horror movies. This is a static dashboard, so I believe there are new best performing horror movies according to IMDb as at now. But yeah, as at then, from this funnel chart, we can see Alien was the number 1, and then we have Psycho, King Kong, The Exorcist, and then we have the Cabinet of Dr. Calgary. And then this was based on the number of votes actually, but from average rating, we have Psycho as the best movie, but as compared to the number of votes, Alien takes this in the funnel chat, and then we have the others on the list. Reactions versus ratings, I had to just visualize it a little differently here. Green for positive, and yeah, for some reason, this just didn't work out how I wanted it to work out. See, 8,000. Oh yeah, it did actually. It was supposed to be a hierarchy of movies when you compare both negative, positive, and neutral to show which. So Psycho took the standing here, but you could see that some other dashes are bigger. But yeah, Psycho still wins. This is also a word cloud. I can't remember why I did the second word cloud here. And here we see disturbing, thrilling, scary, and similar words. And right here, all we have here is just the list of the horror movies. Something I would do better if I were to do this dashboard again is to put the link to either the page or the trailer of these movies here. Trailer of the movies here. Yeah, so we have like a summary of the best movies from Alien to Psycho to The Cabinet of Dr. Calgary, The Exorcist, and King Kong, and that's it. Yeah. Unfortunately, the mobile view sucked. Yeah, it sucked for me, and that was like the only thing I would majorly do differently if I were to do this dashboard again. Yeah, that's me.
Wow, great work. Like I love the blood in the top right hand corner. Like that's a really cool touch. Yeah. Um and so how did you do that? Is that just an image or
Oh yeah, it's an
yeah, it's
image.
an
Yeah,
image. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, but so many different aspects um of the dashboard, as you move through it and like the motto of Iron Viz is like win or lose, you learn. So, like there's so many like you and David both mentioned, well, like if I did this again, like, already you're like think your creative juices are still flowing and you're going, oh, like I would do this or I would do that. And, it's so fun to see people kind of, like, going through their visualization and like, oh, like this inspired me, so I did this here, but then I think I could also have done this. And it's just such a fun experience to watch people like reviewing their work and their creativity. And it was a great job how you put that together. It was a great biz. It was, yeah, well done. uh, so and Okay, so so then you have an image to go to the next page, like a nav button. That's cool.
yeah. Nav button.
And it's like a
Yeah, and then
little,
I
yeah,
put the image on it. Yeah, top 5. Yeah.
yeah, that's cool. And then, so what did you say is at the bottom? Like it's just did you use an image roll
Where?
at the bottom for the top 5?
Oh, just
Bring
the
the image.
image too. Yeah, just the
Oh, just
image.
the image. Oh,
I
yeah,
was
that's
supposed to
cool.
put
Yeah.
the link. Oh yeah, but just the image. Yeah.
Yeah, you do an image roll is in there too, but yeah, that's cool. That's awesome though. And you did some machine learning stuff with it. Like you had the sentiment analysis and
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. Well done. Great job. Thanks for presenting. Okay, great. So Dennis.
Sure. Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be presenting. Thank you, Candice and Canadian Tug, for inviting me to be part of this. I am, by day, I am a social work professor at Carleton University. And by night, I like to dabble in map design and data visualization, kind of on the more creative side. And let me share my screen really quick. And just wanted to note that actually come November 30th will mark my 5th year anniversary of using Tableau. So, which is kind of exciting. So I think you can see my viz. So I have a particular style. For those who have seen some of my work, I like to do maps in Tableau. And so I often will start with the map and kind of build around the map. And so in this case, so let me just give you kind of some backdrop of this. So this is a show, a Japanese drama. So one of the things my wife and I do is binge on Korean and Japanese TV shows on Netflix and anywhere else. And um, so this is just a show that we watched a while ago about, and it's a very simple show. It's about a businessman. Usually starts off with him doing like meeting with a client, and at some point he's walking, and he just realizes that he's hungry and he can't go on with this day until he finds a restaurant. And so he wanders around to find a restaurant, and once he discovers the restaurant, the rest of the show, like maybe 15, 20 minutes, is just basically him chowing down on whatever he's eating. So that's the show. So the theme was TV, and this actually would work well. I was thinking of maybe redoing this a little bit for this year because the theme is food and drink. So, but I think time is kind of running out at this point for me. And so this is based. So he's based in Tokyo, and so he wanders around. And so usually he just eats at a place that's around where he's doing his work. And so he'll ride the train, and wherever he goes. And you'll notice that a lot of the places are obviously around Tokyo and things like that. And so what I usually do, and you'll notice I'm in a very different place than I think most Tableau users. I'm really maybe exclusively in team floating. So these are all floating containers. I build around the map. And so there's very little tiling, because I like to use the open spaces that are around the geography. And so Japan is an interesting geography. I was thinking of maybe going vertical with this, but I wanted to kind of stay within kind of like a single frame. So I decided to just maybe for, like, I was imagining maybe for this year, I would go vertical and make the map of Japan really big. But in this case, I started with the map, positioned it, and everything else is just kind of positioned everywhere else. And so that's kind of my design style. You'll notice that, I think, in kind of some of the stuff that I've done in the past. The data I used was IMDb, the Tableau data set. Was able to find data on basically the 10 seasons of this show, 12 episodes each. You can imagine, I mean, it's such an interesting, you just basically watching a guy eat, and it's gone 10 seasons, 12 episodes. He also just came out with a movie earlier this year. Things like, so it's kind of this amazing, interesting phenomenon. But anyways, and so what I tried to do, so there's a couple things I did with the data. So location data obviously wasn't in the data. They maybe had some data on where, in the description, where he went and stuff like that. So I had to kind of pull that out. I wasn't able to really, originally I wanted to really drill down to the specific restaurants, because these are actually real restaurants. And at the end of the show, they'll kind of feature the restaurant and where it is, and meet the people who own the restaurant and stuff like that. So these are kind of real restaurants. And originally I wanted to really dig in and find the exact locations, addresses of these restaurants. A couple issues. Time was an issue. It would have taken forever. But also a lot of the restaurants, I think, were closed because of COVID and things like that. And then the other issue is, I'm not Japanese. I don't speak or read Japanese, and so it would have been kind of challenging to do so as well. And so I basically stuck with the main cities that the episodes took place, where the restaurants were, and there was only so much I can kind of pull from the IMDb. I had data on kind of the place. I had the description of the food. I had originally thought maybe I could rewatch all the shows, or a good sample of them, to kind of really add to the story and things like that. This was my fifth Iron Viz, and so I've participated in the last five. And one thing that I think I've noticed in terms of my weakness or limitation is I'm not very strong in the storytelling. I think I'm really good with the data analysis. I think I've been working on the design, but where I feel like I'm lacking is the storytelling. And so I really tried to kind of hone in on that a little bit and key in on that. But it was only so much I can draw from the data. And so a couple of things, focused on the ratings, kind of looked at, so season 5 was the highest rated season. It included 2 trips to Taiwan, which is kind of cool because that's where my parents are from. And I'm happened to be going there this December. And so it was kind of cool to kind of see him kind of actually rewatch those particular episodes, because I wanted to see where he went specifically in Taiwan. And then kind of focused on, okay, so where were most of the episodes located? So obviously in Tokyo, there were 76 episodes. That's where he's based. And obviously Tokyo is large and includes a lot of different kind of little neighborhoods and sub-cities and things like that. and so that's kind of basically it. I tried to kind of put this all in one page and one view so that people can kind of see everything. I wasn't too worried about the direction. I tried to kind of lay it out in a way that it didn't matter. Like obviously, hopefully they will start at the upper left corner, see the map, and then at that point, the rest of it didn't really matter. Kind of where they went with the story, and so I kind of laid it out in that in mind. So the flow, I left the flow up to the user or reader, but I think that's about it. But anyways, it was a fun project. I was thinking of doing it for this year again and kind of redoing it and remaking it, doing a kind of a makeover of it. But it's been kind of a crazy couple of months, and so I don't think I'm going to have time to do that. But anyways, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for making time for us then, given your crazy schedule. But I do love the way you, I do love the way, you use the like I don't know how to the white space or the space around it, because for people who aren't familiar with Dennis's Tableau public profile, you should definitely check it out. He does a lot of maps, which are really fabulous, and they all like they're all of your vizzes, I find, do have like a map as like, although the map is kind of on the side, it's really the focal point. And the story, well, like Kirk says in the chat, like the storytelling looks great to me, and the way the map is the focal point and the story kind of flows around that. I love, and the way, but you do have a very deliberate way of dealing with the spacing around it, and you have a real talent for that design aspect, which I do not have. You know what I mean? You always seem to know like how to bring that all together or how to frame that. So yeah, love it. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. I mean, I think so. I participated in 5 Iron Vizes, and I think it's just a great opportunity to really stretch yourself. Like this is like probably the one time of year where I really try to pull together like more than kind of just the one chart thing that I would kind of do occasionally, every so often, or the one map. This is like, involves multiple maps, multiple maps or charts. It's just kind of the one project that kind of really forces me to stretch myself, hone in on maybe some of my weaknesses. I try to do a couple things that were new here. With each video, I try to do something like new or try to apply kind of a new lesson or things like that. And so I think I'm pretty sure I did a few of those things, but I can't remember what they were at this point.
Yeah, sorry, this is a year later.
Yeah, it's just a great, I think it's just a great opportunity. It kind of forces you to do this. I feel I regret that I'm probably not going to participate this year. But that's okay. I think I'm at peace with that at this point. Finally.
Yeah, Thomas was saying that he was like debating whether he would put in anyways, I can let him say it, but he didn't want to regret it in December.
Yes, that's true. I mean, I still like even as of like today, like as I was preparing for this, I was like, oh, should I do it? I still have 2 days left or so, whatever. I should finish my grading and stuff. So anyways.
Yes, we do all have extra commitments as well. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
Okay. But thank you so much.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you for presenting, Dennis. It's a beautiful viz. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, very well done. Yeah. Obviously it's a great, and a good story. Yeah. It's kind of cool. I love that so when you watch it on Netflix, do they have subtitles so
it's not on Netflix? I think it's been a long time that we watch it. So it used to be on I don't know, at least in the States where I'm used to, there used to be kind of this international channel. So we used to catch it
cool.
on channel, it was channel 18 in Los Angeles.
Oh,
And so
wow.
we used to catch that every, you have to, in the old days, you used to
Yes,
have to
right.
kind of, you can only watch a show when it's, aired on TV. So
Yeah.
you actually, but these days there's kind of multiple like kind of like platforms where it's available here and there. And so you can watch it. Like the movie, for example, they just had, they just released in January. It's not available in North America yet, so I'm
Mhm.
kind of waiting to watch that. But eventually that's eventually kind of comes comes to North America at some point on one platform or the other.
Or the
But
other, yeah.
yeah.
So it's in Japanese, but then they have
It's
subtitles?
a Japanese. They have subtitles, but most of the time he's just like eating and kind of grunting, and
Oh.
so
Oh,
it's an interesting
I guess
phenomenon. It's just like a
I guess
food.
that's
It's
universal.
just basic. It's a food show. I mean, it's like a drama. Like it's a drama. It's not. It's fictional, but he eats at a real restaurant, and
Oh,
he's
okay.
just. I mean, and he's really eating. Like you watch him eat the entire meal, and he wolfs it down, and so it's fun
Oh,
in that
wow.
way. But it's but it
Oh,
touches
cool.
upon Japanese culture. Japanese, he's always walking down some kind of cool little Japanese neighborhood and wandering around trying to find a restaurant. So it kind of touches upon kind of different aspects of Japanese life and culture, and obviously food, right? And so yeah.
Ooh, cool. I
Yeah.
love shows like that. We should check it out.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
Cool.
Well,
Thanks,
thank
Dennis.
you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, awesome. And without further ado, uh, last but not very definitely not least, Thomas. So this Thomas, this is your second year, or this year will be your third year, but this presentation, this one was your second time, or
Oh, like for my
last year?
talk presentation is my debut, and
Oh, yes.
yeah,
And your
but
Iron
for
Viz.
Iron Fist submission, qualified submission is my first one. I have a like disqualified one 1 year before
Oh.
with the
Oh,
love
okay, okay.
theme. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Oh, okay, awesome. Okay.
yeah. So
Awesome.
yeah,
Yes, well, take it away.
sure. Yeah, and I can definitely like talk about like what to be careful with like not being disqualified with uh like with like the the entry in Iron Fist. Okay,
Yeah, okay,
so
good. Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
of course.
You can that would be good if you could cover that,
Yep.
because I didn't cover the criteria very well. But
Yes.
uh Fraser definitely did a much better job on that
Yeah.
when we did this before, but
Right. So, yeah, thank you, Candy, for inviting me for the sharing this presentation on the Canada Tuck. So let me like briefly introduce myself. I am Thomas, and I am from Edmonton, Alberta, and I'm now working in Omre Ing as a data analyst. We actually specialize in business intelligence with the construction industry. And speaking of why I decided to enter Iron Viz, I was fortunate enough to be able to join the Tableau conference 2023 and 2024 in person. So for the both year and also like the other instances that I joined virtually, I was really amazed with the final contestants that with what they can make the Tableau do. And actually for myself, it is a very good opportunity that like each year you got a reason to push yourself to create a viz with certain scale and force yourself to applying like new techniques or new knowledge from Tableau onto my work. So that's why like counting this year, I am creating my third viz to enter Iron Viz. So, speaking of inspiration, last year's topic is entertainment. What directly came to my mind was the final contest topic for the uh, Iron Viz final in TC 2024. So the final contest is that like the contestants being offered the IMDb dataset to create their dashboards. So the one that I'm showing on lower right-hand corner is the IMDb Explorer created by Chris. There's a marvelous Viz, and if you haven't seen it, I think you should definitely take a look of the Viz and the creative way that it makes Tableau do. And after that final context, I found that Tableau make the IMDb datasets available on Tableau Public. So nothing is better than having a out of the box dataset that I can employ on. So that's why I make a my Viz as Stream Wars, Netflix decade-long quest for global supremacy. Being a veteran Netflix subscriber since 2017, it's feasible and interesting topic to see how Netflix is doing good to have that supreme status on streaming services. So here I will shift my screen into the web version of my Viz. So basically, my Viz is being divided into 3 parts. So the first part is actually about an overview. So in the center, you can see there's a tree diagram that is showing the top series occupancy across different major streaming services. So for example, the default value of the date range is from 2007 to 2023. And the definition that I make it as a top series is that it at least has 4,000 votes in average for each episode. So we can see that early from 2007, within this 16 years, actually Netflix have make up 45.87% of the top series in the market. And if we are counting top 20, actually 11 out of top 20 is at least distributed by Netflix. And I also shed light on the contribution of international content on Netflix. So basically, because Netflix is a US company, but along its development, more and more production houses around the world, like in Europe and Asia, contributing super good content to be available on Netflix, like United Kingdom. You have the series of The Crown, right? Japan, and especially South Korea. You can see that is dark red. That means in my chart, it is with a very high average IMDb title rating is 8.2 in comparison with the other countries. And I also make some in-depth analysis with the top 6 countries, including US here. So actually for each of the buttons here, we can click into it to see some text that I give the in-depth analysis and also some chart to show that details. But I will cover that later. And also I have the third part that is covering on the comparison of Netflix produced content and Netflix distributed content. So for example, Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul is now available on Netflix, but it's distributed by Netflix. And for example, Stranger Things is a TV series that is produced by Netflix. And I'm giving some analysis here to show that actually the vast volume of the TV series content that we are seeing on Netflix now is distributed by Netflix, but not directly produced by Netflix. And there's also an insight that since 2021, in terms of the average rating of the title, the content being produced outside Netflix, namely Disney Plus or HBO Max, are surpassing Netflix content. That we are seeing new challengers in the streaming services industry. And I actually have prepared some points to share on what I learned from the Iron Viz last year. So here is a section of the lesson I learned. I feel that time is really a scarce resources in Iron Viz, because you only have 1 month from the topic announcement all the way to submission. But between submission and the announcement of topic, you have many things that need to happen. You have topic selection, you decide the theme, and then you need to collect the data, or you explore on the web to see if there are any out-of-the-box data set that you can employ. And the story development. What is the story that you are going to talk about? And the fourth one is actually very time-consuming, dashboard building. You need to build a viz, all the calculated fields that makes the view to happen, to be feasible, and you comprise it into a dashboard. And not to mention, finally, like you have a final review and like iterate with your friends. So actually for myself, like planning ahead and iterating quickly with your colleagues or friends and seeking like feedback early is with a higher chance of success. So that's also what I'm trying to do, that I do like actively seek comments and advice from my colleagues at work. And another learning point is with storytelling. So like what like good storytelling is, it can be like involving a call to action. It can be iterating a narrative, and it can be also like presenting a case. Like a good storytelling can be either one of them. And with the content that I produced last year, actually, I cover like many things, plenty of things across the three major board. Like I'm covering ratings, like global content versus US content, and like Netflix produced and Netflix distributed content with many drills and views. Like actually, like each of the topic can be a standalone dashboard to be available on Iron Viz. So actually, like I learned that maybe focusing on one with an overarching takeaway can be easier for the audience to consume, because like stepping outside, like as a like being a like third person to see my dashboard now, um, there are a lot of content here, but like the focus is somehow not 100% so clear on the story, the main trunk that I'm delivering. And actually, like Tableau official has a article talking about the best practices for telling great stories. I can share this link later in the chat. Another learning point is visualization improvements. I realized that like I can actually employ more like for example logos, because everyone know the logo of Netflix and Disney Plus and so on and so forth. But like for example, the tree diagram that I am displaying in the first tab, it did not like use this advantage, and that's one. And for example, like similarly, I can like use the flag for countries here. I did have in the screen sub tab for each of this little arrow here, but on the top level of this board, I did not employ them. And color choices can be better, because like now I am using a like beige yellow as the background, but for the yellow color of bar chart or line chart, it is not super clear, like not 100%. So what I did learn, and as a takeaway, is that like I can use some like more high contrast color choices to make sure that like everything is more clear in the display. And finally, I think like what I can like you do better is the power of white space. So I think it's fine on the second tab, but especially with the first tab, yeah, I think I can do better in the design, so that I leave more white spaces and look like more slick in the design. And another takeaway is that continuous learning, I think, is like really like good for anyone who wants to take part in Iron Viz, because like Iron Viz, as I say, like time is really scarce. There's limited time that you can learn new physics, new chart types within the 1 month. So actually, it's one of my habit that I browse Viz of the day every day, just 3 to 5 minutes to see, oh, what is now on for Viz of the day. And sometimes there are some new design concept or new chart type that I feel is really useful, maybe for my future Iron Viz, or for my daily work. So I think like a daily browse of the Viz of the day on the Tableau Public is really helpful. And the last part of my presentation is with like something that I like. Actually, I want to advocate the interactivity that I think I have like tried in my board. So like around Tableau Public, I can actually have seen like many beautiful Vizes that with very great design. But what I like advocate a lot on my dashboards is that I try to include as much as interactivity in it, and the way that I do it is with like parameter. I think like parameter is really helpful in like adding more interactivity in the board for greater exploration. So for example, on my front board, the default value of a top series is that you need to have 4,000 average votes for an episode. And the default year range is 2007 and 2023. So with these parameters set here, I can actually allow users to increase the benchmark. So from 4,000, I think like a TV series need to have average votes to be 5,000 to be a top series. So 5,000. And I'm curious with the day range of like the time since COVID. Like so instead of 2007, I make it 2020. So the landscape or the story that we are telling is totally different. Now we are telling a landscape that Disney Plus is actually doing a better job than Netflix in producing top series. So you can see that out of the top 20 series being distributed or produced in the 20s, only 5 out of the top 20 is produced by Netflix. So that's one of the interactivity that I do love. And another one is parameter action that I also love and have like implemented it in this Viz. So for example, here we have like 6 little arrows here that gives the subtab of the like the development of each country. So for example, I can click into this arrow, South Korea, and it tells a story of like how the IMDb rating of the South Korea produced content is, and the popularity of the different TV series it has. And if I click another arrow, like Germany ones, Dark, like this TV series is super famous, and it hops to the screen of Germany. So it actually is not 6 pages. What I did is actually 1 page. So now we are on the Tableau desktop version of my Viz. So actually, like all the way is the dashboard 3 here. How I do it is through a parameter action built around this little dashboard. So each arrow here is actually a little dashboard with the symbol of arrow here. And then this one is embedded with the value of United States. And all we need to do is that Control-Shift-D, we can hop to the action screen. For example, I have this parameter action, and then I hit edit. And it is a parameter action that once there is the user clicking this one, and then it will hit the parameter to be is United States, and it will force dashboard 3 from displaying other country of content from, for example, like from South Korea, and then force this change into US, and can allow this effect of like it sounds like having 6 different pages, but actually we are just employing the structure of 1 page. So that's also one thing that I like about my Viz. So let me see. Yeah, I think that'll be all for my sharing. And thank you again for having me here to do my sharing.
Great job. Like great presentation, and like
you.
great Viz. Like Dennis and I were commenting in the chat. Like I love the colors on that you used on the tree map with the bright Yeah, it's yeah, especially the purple. I'm a very drawn to that purple color. But yeah, I love that so those are like representative of the different streaming. Like blue is Disney, red is Netflix, and yeah, that's nice. I like that. I like those
Oh, thank you.
colors. They're like really popped on the it's great. Awesome. And yeah, I really liked what you said too about how like getting feedback from your colleagues. I think that's a really good abstract art. Yeah, well done, Fraser. Yeah. Like really getting feedback, like that's a really good idea. Like I think one of the visionaries used to run like did you ever get help from Sarah Bartlett? Did you sign up to get them to review your like
Oh,
she used to organize a thing where
oh,
people could
I
sign up
haven't.
for a little slot. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they did have. I'm not sure they're doing it this year or not, but they did it in previous years where you could sign up for like a 15-minute slot and get. There's a couple people on the call and they give you quick feedback. But that's a really good exercise about going through iterations with like colleagues or or your friends or whatever just to get feedback. But I love it. One other comment you said too about the contrast in the colors.
Yep.
Because they do. I will give you a hint from being a judge. We do mark on accessibility, and one of the accessibility things is the contrast between like the background and the charts. So that's a really good call out there actually.
Yeah.
Because yeah. So, but I love the Viz, and I am very attracted to the dream map.
Thank you.
But you did do a good job on the other views of like directing everybody through the visualization and through like a lot of information, like all the streaming stuff, like all the information on the streaming.
Yep.
And directing people through that sort of self-guided journey, right?
Yep.
And that's and like there's a lot of analysis in this, hey? Hopefully your analysis marks were high.
Oh yeah, I hope so. I didn't get the
you didn't get
score, the comment yet.
Oh, you didn't get your score? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's like, a lot of like points where you could, break it down and kind of flow through nice. Well done. Love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I also want to share one last point is that like why do I get like disqualified for my first attempt with Iron Viz is that is with the year with the theme of love. And I think, it's very bored and like why not like covering the love of my neighbors, the love of my people. So I did a viz about the homelessness in Canada. And I just directly submit it with no like context trying to link with the theme. I think, like the judge will feel it. And but it turns out that like I was determined that it's quite irrelevant, so it didn't enter the qualification. So yeah, I think it's a reminder that like if it's like not very apparent that your theme is related to the topic, like try to like use some some text or coverage to explain why your topic is falling to the theme that year. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like the storytelling, I guess, to connect it through.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, nice. Yeah. Well, good job on your
Thank you.
last year's. Yeah, and good luck at everybody who's doing one for. Yeah, Chomo, did you want to? You can just turn on your mic.
Okay. Like Thomas was going on, I had a question. Not to Thomas, to you actually. So
Yeah.
he has the logo of Netflix on the dashboard. I did think this was a problem for these competitions, like having the logo of the brand or something in your dashboard. Is it a problem?
Yeah, I don't think so. Well, he used the Netflix brand. Okay, best practices for storytelling. No, it's not a problem. I think as long as you're not using it for commercial purposes. What do you mean without permission, Kirk? So people use the logos, I think, as long as it's you think she's correct that you're not supposed to use? It's okay, it's fair use, Fraser says. Oh, it depends. So F1, I think, is very particular about it, but yeah, that is a bit of yeah. I guess you'd have to be careful. I guess I don't really know the answer to that exactly. But they do use logos in the Iron Vizes, so I guess as long as it's not, you cannot use logo with specific written approval for it, and even then, it must be submitted for approval via their partner. Marketing, advertising, merchandise, or broadcast without permission is not allowed and could lead to legal issues. I guess. So potentially, it could be an issue. Yes. I guess is the short answer. And just to draw attention to a post Kirk had further up, westlakeanalytics.com Viz help sessions. So if anybody is, I don't know if there's any slots left, but just so you know, if you not for this year or for next year, if you're creating an Iron Viz, then you can. There's usually a community-led effort to provide feedback on your Vizes that you could sign up for like a 15-minute slot or something.
Just wanted to call out as well that also when you're submitting, by default, you don't necessarily get feedback. There is a request form you have to submit to get the feedback as well as your grade. So that highly recommend, highly, because then you can get that feedback of, what the judges thought of your Viz and take that feedback back to heart for the following year.
Yeah, and you did get feedback, did you, David?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, okay. So you kind of have to specify, so that when you're submitting, you have to kind of specify that on your form, right?
There's a separate form, so that it's on the Iron Viz page. It's towards the bottom.
Okay. And the criteria is in more detail than I kind of skimmed over, is on the Iron Viz page as well. If anybody's interested in what the exact criteria is, it's kind of broken out. And those are fairly accurate as to what we're marking on. I kind of gave it a little peruse. And so those are the kind of the guidelines that were given, like in the form of a more in the form of a metric, obviously. But yeah. Okay, so thank you everybody for coming, and thank you for presenting your beautiful Vizes and for all your efforts to create these beautiful Vizes and enter yourself in this contest. It's awesome to have some and hopefully you guys got benefits from it as well for all your hard work. But thank you definitely for coming and presenting to us today and your inspiration. I think everybody's inspiration was really evident. And it's like, well, Chioma like really loved horror flicks, and that was her inspiration. David, The Simpsons, which is like a long standing passion, and Thomas, inspired by what he had seen at the conference, which is awesome. Like I think inspiration is all around us, and like kind of harnessing that into something fun is what we're all here for most of the time. and thank you everybody for coming. So so we'll sign off for now, and I will let everybody know when the recording is ready, and in case you have any questions, you can flip back through it on YouTube. Thanks everybody.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us.